TV soap news and spoilers say that in the sultry, shadow-draped streets of the fictional town of Crestwood, where secrets fester like wounds and alliances shift like sand, a gripping drama unfolds at the heart of Beyond the Gates, a saga that has ensnared its audience with its labyrinthine plot and morally ambiguous characters. At the epicenter of this tempest is Nicole, a woman whose fierce independence and sharp tongue have made her both a beloved figure and a lightning rod for controversy. Now, she stands accused of a heinous act, an alleged assault on Leslie, a rival whose cunning and vindictiveness have set the stage for a showdown that could shatter lives and reputations. Will Leslie's calculated accusations succeed in landing Nicole behind bars, or will the truth emerge from the murky depths of deceit? Let us unravel this intricate tale, thread by thread, as we explore the motives, the evidence, and the fragile threads of loyalty that could determine Nicole's fate. The spark of conflict. The story begins in the opulent yet claustrophobic confines of the Orpheum Jean, a grand old theater in Crestwood that serves as both a cultural landmark and a crucible for the town's most explosive dramas. The Orpheum Jean, with its velvet curtains and gilded balconies, is no stranger to spectacle, but the events that transpired on that fateful evening were not scripted for the stage. Leslie, a woman known for her chameleon-like ability to manipulate perceptions, emerged from the theater's dimly lit backstage area with a tale as shocking as it was damning. She claimed that Nicole, in a fit of rage, had assaulted her, leaving bruises around her neck as evidence of a near-fatal attack. Leslie's accusations were not merely a cry for justice but a carefully orchestrated performance. With tears streaming down her face and her voice trembling with practiced fragility, she recounted to the police how Nicole's hands had closed around her throat, squeezing with a ferocity that suggested intent to kill. The bruises, livid and purple, were displayed like badges of victimhood, each mark a silent witness to Nicole's alleged brutality. The police, led by the methodical and skeptical detective Jacob Hargrove, arrived swiftly, their presence casting a pall over the already tense atmosphere of the Orpheum Jean. Nicole's defiant response. Nicole, however, is not one to shrink from confrontation. When confronted with Leslie's accusations, she stood tall, her eyes blazing with a mixture of defiance and disdain. "If only I had succeeded," she quipped, her voice dripping with sarcasm that cut through the room like a blade. The remark, delivered with a chilling nonchalance, sent a ripple of shock through those present, including Kat, Nicole's closest confidant, whose wide-eyed expression betrayed her disbelief. Kat, who had always admired Nicole's fiery spirit, found herself questioning whether her friend's bravado masked a darker truth or was merely a reckless retort to an outrageous lie. Nicole quickly clarified her statement, her tone softening but not losing its edge. "That's an exaggeration," she said, her gaze steady as she addressed Jacob directly. "I didn't touch her. If you want the truth, check the security footage. There's no way Leslie's story holds up under scrutiny." Her words were a challenge, a gauntlet thrown at the feet of her accuser and the authorities alike. But there was a hitch. The Orpheum Jean, despite its grandeur, was woefully under-equipped with modern surveillance. The absence of cameras meant that the truth would hinge not on indisputable evidence but on the fragile, often unreliable testimony of witnesses like Ted, a man whose presence at the scene could make or break Nicole's defense. The weight of testimony. Ted, a stagehand at the Orpheum Jean, is a figure who blends into the background, his unassuming demeanor belying the pivotal role he might play in this unfolding drama. On the night of the alleged assault, Ted was backstage, adjusting lighting rigs and preparing for the evening's performance. He was there, in the shadows, when the confrontation between Nicole and Leslie erupted. But did he see what Leslie claims? Or is his memory clouded by the chaos of the moment, the dim lighting, and the cacophony of voices that filled the air? Ted's account, as it stands, is murky. He recalls a heated exchange, voices raised and tempers flaring, but the specifics elude him. "I didn't realize Nicole had grabbed her so hard," he later confided to a colleague, his words tinged with uncertainty. Did Nicole's hand make contact with Leslie's throat, or was it merely a gesture misconstrued in the heat of the moment? Ted's hesitation, his reluctance to commit to a definitive version of events, is a double-edged sword. It could bolster Leslie's accusations, painting Nicole as an aggressor whose actions went unnoticed in the chaos, or it could undermine Leslie's narrative by highlighting the lack of clarity in the sole witness's testimony. Detective Jacob Hargrove, a man whose weathered face and piercing eyes suggest a career spent sifting truth from lies, is not one to rush to judgment. "I'm not ready to arrest anyone right now," he declared, his voice calm but firm. "We're still gathering information." His measured approach is both a lifeline for Nicole and a source of frustration for Leslie, who watches with growing impatience as her carefully laid plans teeter on the edge of unraveling. Jacob's investigation is methodical, his questions probing as he interviews witnesses, examines the scene, and searches for any shred of evidence that could corroborate or refute Leslie's claims. The motives behind the masks. To understand the stakes of this drama, we must delve into the motives that drive its key players. Leslie, with her polished exterior and penchant for manipulation, has long harbored a grudge against Nicole. Their rivalry stretches back years, rooted in a complex web of professional jealousy and personal betrayals. Nicole, a rising star in Crestwood's theater scene, has eclipsed Leslie's once bright spotlight, earning accolades and admiration that Leslie believes should rightfully be hers. The alleged assault, some speculate, is not merely a reaction to a single altercation but a calculated move to destroy Nicole's reputation and remove her as a rival once and for all. Leslie's decision to fake bruises, achieved, perhaps, with the aid of makeup artistry honed during her years on stage, speaks to a desperation that borders on obsession. The marks around her neck, though convincing to the untrained eye, raise questions among those who know her best. Kat, for instance, recalls Leslie's flair for the dramatic, her ability to transform herself into any role, whether on stage or in life. Could these bruises be another performance, a prop in Leslie's bid for sympathy and vengeance? The absence of security footage leaves this question tantalizingly unanswered, forcing Jacob to rely on the imperfect recollections of those who were present. Nicole, for her part, is no saint. Her sharp wit and unyielding confidence have earned her enemies as well as allies. Her comment about wishing she had succeeded in strangling Leslie, though intended as hyperbole, reveals a recklessness that could cost her dearly. In a town like Crestwood, where gossip spreads like wildfire, such a statement could be twisted into an admission of guilt, fueling Leslie's narrative and swaying public opinion against her. Yet Nicole's refusal to cower, her insistence on confronting Leslie's accusations head-on, speaks to a strength that resonates with those who admire her resilience. The fragile thread of truth as the investigation unfolds, the absence of concrete evidence becomes the central obstacle. Without cameras to capture the truth, the case hinges on the reliability of human memory and the biases that color it. Ted's testimony, if he chooses to provide it, could be the linchpin. If he confirms Leslie's account, asserting that Nicole's hands did indeed grip her throat with malicious intent, it could tip the scales toward an arrest. But if Ted's recollection remains vague, or if he contradicts Leslie's story, it could cast doubt on her entire narrative, exposing her accusations as a fabrication. Kat, too, plays a critical role. As Nicole's friend, her loyalty is unquestioned, but her shock at Nicole's flippant remark suggests a flicker of doubt. Will Kat stand by Nicole, or will the weight of Leslie's accusations and the pressure of the investigation cause her to waver? Her testimony, if called upon, could either bolster Nicole's defense or inadvertently lend credence to Leslie's claims. The Orphe gene itself, with its labyrinthine corridors and hidden corners, seems to hold secrets of its own. The theater, a place where illusion and reality blur, is a fitting backdrop for this drama. Its history is littered with tales of betrayal, ambition, and redemption, and the current conflict feels like a continuation of that legacy. The stagehands, the actors, the audience members who lingered after the show, all are potential witnesses, yet none can provide the clarity that Jacob seeks. The stakes of justice. The question that looms over Crestwood is whether Leslie's accusations will succeed in landing Nicole in jail. The answer depends on a delicate balance of evidence, testimony, and perception. If Ted's account aligns with Leslie's, and if no other witnesses come forward to contradict her, Nicole could face serious consequences. An assault charge, particularly one involving allegations of attempted strangulation, carries weight in the legal system. A conviction could mean not only jail time but the destruction of Nicole's career and reputation, a victory for Leslie that would cement her dominance in Crestwood's social and theatrical circles. Yet the absence of security footage is a double-edged sword. Without it, Leslie's bruises, however convincing, remain circumstantial. Jacob, with his keen eye for detail, is likely to scrutinize the physical evidence closely. Were the bruises applied with makeup, or are they genuine? Could they have been self-inflicted, as some have whispered? The forensic examination, if conducted, could expose Leslie's deception, turning the tables and casting her as the villain in this twisted tale. Public opinion, too, plays a role. Crestwood is a town where reputations are built and broken in the court of gossip. Nicole's supporters rally behind her, painting Leslie as a scheming opportunist, while Leslie's allies counter with tales of Nicole's temper and unpredictability. The truth, as always, lies somewhere in the gray, obscured by the passions and prejudices of those who seek to shape the narrative. A town on edge as the investigation continues, Crestwood buzzes with speculation. The Orphe gene, once a beacon of culture, has become a battleground, its stage a metaphor for the larger conflict playing out. Nicole, defiant and unyielding, prepares to fight for her freedom, while Leslie, cloaked in the guise of a victim, tightens her grip on the narrative she has crafted. Ted, caught in the crossfire, grapples with the weight of his potential testimony, knowing that his words could alter the course of justice. Detective Jacob Hargrove, the linchpin in this unfolding drama, remains a figure of quiet authority. His refusal to rush to judgment reflects a commitment to uncovering the truth, no matter how elusive it may be. Yet the pressure is mounting, from Leslie, who demands swift action, from Nicole, who demands vindication, and from the town itself, which hungers for resolution. The unraveling as we await the next chapter in this saga, one thing is certain, the truth will not reveal itself easily. The absence of security footage, the ambiguity of Ted's testimony, and the complex interplay of motives and loyalties ensure that this drama will continue to captivate and confound. Will Leslie's accusations hold, or will they crumble under the weight of scrutiny? Will Nicole emerge unscathed, her reputation intact, or will she fall victim to a plot as cunning as it is cruel? In Crestwood, where the line between truth and performance is razor-thin, the answers lie in the shadows of the Orphe gene. As the curtain rises on the next act, all eyes are on Nicole, Leslie, and the fragile thread of truth that binds them. We hope you enjoyed it and look forward to sharing more with you in the future. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe TV soap news and spoilers for more updates on Beyond the Gates.